Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone and welcome to the presentation of groups number 49 for the proposal task which is presented by, here are the group number as you can see. Firstly me, Abdurrahman Mohammed and Muhanna Saleh Al-Taifan, Abdurrahman Al-Ahmadi and lastly Yusuf Al-Waqdani. And I hope you enjoyed it. The purpose of this proposal is to divide the exam of CPC S 202 into two parts, a written part with multiple choices and short codes, and a practical part using NetBeans in the university's labs for longer and more complicated codes. Many students have had a hard time during the exam while writing multiple codes with pen and paper instead of writing them in an IDE, which is much faster and more realistic and will give them more experience for their future. This proposal will go in depth on applying the solution and why we need to make these changes. We propose changing the way of evaluating the students in CPS 202 by making the exam more effective. Here are the 5 main points to demonstrate the idea. Okay, and I will start with the first one, which is efficiency. There is no doubt that all the students type the assignments on their computers using IDEs such as NetBeans or Eclipse. Also, after the students graduate from the university and work as programmers, they will use an IDE in any work environment. So, using IDE or the coding program will help them to remind the function and method names. Plus, this can speed things up considerably as the programmer will often remember the name, but he may not be exactly sure. To conclude, while coding using IDE is the best development environment, and also it will increase your level of professionalism as a programmer. And now let's move on into the next point, which is the implementation details with Brother Muhanna.
Thank you, Abdurrahman. And I'm going to talk about the implementation details. Okay. The main idea of this proposal is to divide the exam into two parts. The first one is the written exam, and the second one is the practical exam. Let's talk about the first part. This part will contain any written questions except the coding questions, such as multiple choices questions or true and false questions, trace the following code, or correct the following code. Okay, this part of the exam could be in the lab or in the class. So the student is not allowed to use the computer because it's written exam. Okay, talking about the second part of the exam, which is practical exam. This exam will contain the coding questions, such as write a whole program or convert the algorithm to a code, or convert the switch statement to if else statement. So this part of the exam should be in the lab. So the student have to use the IDE to solve the questions and submit the solutions file, which will contain the codes in the Blackboard. Let's take an example. For example, if we have the midterm exam, it's from 30 marks, 15 marks for the written exam and 15 marks for the practical exam. So the student have to take two exams, the written exam and the practical exam. So that was what I have about the implementation details. And now moving to my friend Abdurrahman Al-Ahmadi. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Muhanna. That was great. Now let's talk about the beneficiaries and the benefits. First of all, there are two beneficiaries, the students and the instructors and correctors. First of all, let's start with the students. As a student, when I write on paper, it would be really hard because I can't edit, I can't copy or paste, I can't hit enter, backspace, or just edit any of the code at all. And that makes it really hard for me to do my tasks. And this gets us to the second point, which is focus. When I can't focus on the problem itself and focus on writing the lines, and it should be correct because I can't edit it again or can't undo it because it's on paper, I can't focus properly on the uh, problem solving. So when we have an IDE, we would just be focused on the problem itself and how can we create the algorithm for it. And then comes the second part, the instructors and correctors. As a corrector or instructor, you are gonna read through hundreds of lines in paper and it's written in ink. It might be ambiguous, it might be unclear, or it might be wrong, and it would be really hard for you to find the errors. Well, when you have it as a Java code in your computer, you're gonna just put it on a special program and it's gonna autocorrect it. And you don't have to do anything. And if you want to double check, you can read the code and it's clean, it's tidy, and it's nice. You don't have to do anything. And now with my brother Saleh.
Thank you. King Abdulaziz University is one of the world's best universities, and the Faculty of Computing and Information Technology is one of the best distinguished faculties in the university. It's important to provide an enough number of devices to enable students to use the computers in the exam, allowing the student to use IDE during the exam, which will improve the evaluating process, as well as student performance. Whose responsibility? We urge the computer science deanship to look up in this critical issue, offering the student a chance to show their real skills while making the evaluating process self-sufficient using an IDE in an exam protocol. Thank you. Now with my friend Yusuf to conclude.
So, in conclusion, the structures of CBC S202 should focus more on the practical exam than the written exam for the following reason. Number one, it is more comfortable and easier to use an IDE while programming than using pen or paper because an IDE has many of its advantages, like displaying hints and errors and test running. Number two, it helps the student to acquire new capabilities and skills that they didn't previously possess because the more they use the program, the more you get to know it and learn it and get used to it. Number three, it is efficient as not only for the student but also for the instructor, as the correction process could be automated. Number four, it helps the student to be on a higher level of satisfaction and fulfillment about their future careers. Because if they wrote the code with pen or paper, they would most likely feel unsatisfied and gain a skill that they won't use in the future. Number five, it prepares the student for work, allowing them to deal with the various pressures that they may encounter in the future workplace. That's all we have. Thanks for listening, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
If you liked what we stood for in this video, please scan the QR appearing on the screen or check the link in the description to see the full proposal. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you for watching.